It was a crisp December morning in 1910 when Dorothy Harriet Camille Arnold stepped out of her family's mansion on East 79th Street in New York City. She was 25 years old, the daughter of a wealthy perfume importer and a regular figure in Manhattan's high society. Dressed elegantly in a blue tailored suit, carrying a small purse and a book of essays she had purchased earlier that day, Dorothy looked every bit the image of privilege and refinement. But what began as an ordinary shopping trip would end in one of the most enduring mysteries in American history. Dorothy Arnold was never seen again. Dorothy's disappearance began, like countless others, with a walk down the bustling avenues of Manhattan. Around noon, she stopped at a bookstore on Fifth Avenue, where she purchased a copy of a collection of satirical essays titled An Engaged Girl's Sketches. She chatted briefly with the clerk, then stepped back onto the street. Several acquaintances later reported seeing her strolling along Fifth Avenue, seemingly in good spirits. Her destination was never known. When Dorothy failed to return home that evening, her family grew uneasy. But instead of immediately calling the police, her father, Francis Arnold, made a fateful decision. He chose to investigate quietly, fearing a scandal in New York's unforgiving society pages. Francis Arnold was a man deeply concerned with appearances. He instructed family members and household staff to keep silent, and even hired private investigators to comb the city for clues. But the days turned into weeks, and the silence grew impossible to contain. Finally, in January of 1911, nearly 6 weeks after Dorothy vanished, Francis Arnold reluctantly went to the press. By then, whatever trail had existed had gone cold. From the beginning, theories swirled about what had happened to Dorothy. The newspapers speculated wildly, painting her disappearance as a tale of romance, rebellion, and tragedy. Some suggested she had run away with a secret lover. Dorothy had been romantically linked to a man named George Griscom, a young engineer from Pittsburgh. Her family had strongly disapproved of the match, calling him irresponsible. Rumors circulated that Dorothy had become pregnant and had either sought a secret procedure or taken her own life out of despair. But there was no body, no note, no confirmed sightings, and Griscom himself denied any knowledge of her whereabouts. Other theories were darker. Some believed Dorothy had been abducted, lured into a carriage, and spirited away from the busy street in broad daylight. Others suggested she had been attacked in Central Park, her body hidden before anyone could discover it. Still others whispered of organized crime, that perhaps she had been the victim of a gang targeting wealthy young women in the city. But none of these theories could be proven. Each led investigators deeper into uncertainty, and every clue dissolved under scrutiny. The behavior of the Arnold family only added fuel to the mystery. Francis Arnold was notoriously hostile toward the press, often dismissing reporters with curt, angry remarks. He refused to entertain the idea that his daughter could have eloped or lived in disgrace, insisting instead that she must have been kidnapped or killed. Yet, curiously, he also rejected offers to pursue certain leads, even when they came from credible sources. Some accused him of deliberately obstructing the investigation, preferring ambiguity over the possibility that Dorothy had chosen a path that would embarrass the family name. In one particularly chilling moment, Francis Arnold reportedly told a journalist, "I'm certain my daughter is dead. If she were alive, she would have communicated with us in some way. She was too fond of her home, too dependent upon her allowance, and too proud of her position in society to simply disappear." His words did little to calm speculation. Instead, they only deepened the mystery. Over the years, dozens of supposed sightings of Dorothy were reported, from Paris cafes to small towns in California. None were ever verified. Each lead fizzled out as quickly as it emerged. Perhaps the most haunting account came in 1916, when a convicted criminal claimed that Dorothy had died during a botched medical procedure in a private clinic in Pennsylvania. According to his story, her body had been destroyed in the furnace of the building to hide the evidence. Investigators pursued the claim, but no physical proof ever surfaced. By the 1920s, Dorothy Arnold's disappearance had become one of America's most famous cold cases. Her photograph, a young woman with sharp features, dark hair, and an intelligent gaze, appeared in countless newspapers, true crime magazines, and detective digests. She became a symbol of mystery in an age fascinated by unsolved crimes and scandal. Yet despite decades of speculation, no definitive answer ever emerged. Her father died in 1922, never knowing what happened to his daughter. Her mother passed away not long after, carrying the same unanswered questions to her grave. Today, more than a century later, Dorothy Arnold's fate remains one of New York City's greatest unsolved mysteries. Was she a victim of foul play, kidnapped in broad daylight from the heart of Manhattan? Did she vanish by choice, seeking to escape the rigid expectations of wealth and society? Or was her death a tragic accident, hidden by those who feared exposure? The truth, like Dorothy herself, has been lost to time. But her case lingers in the annals of true crime history, a chilling reminder that sometimes the most haunting mysteries are not found in dark alleys or isolated country roads, but on the busiest streets in broad daylight, among hundreds of witnesses who saw everything, and yet nothing at all.